This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Stay tuned to the end to find out how you can best protect your internet connection. Okay, like the title suggests, today I'm going to grade the 4 contract extensions that happened right before the NBA season started, which include Jaylen Brown, Buddy Hield, Domantas Sabonis, and Dejounte Murray. So let's just get started with Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown signed a 4-year, $115 million contract extension, and I'm going to grade this a C-. Is Jaylen Brown worth $30 million a year right now? No. Not even close. In fact, when the reports came out of him declining 4 years, $80 million, a lot of people thought that he wasn't even worth $20 million a year. Now, I disagree. I think if the Celtics got him at 4 years, $80 million, I would have given this deal a B+ or A-. But $30 million implies fringe all-star. In fact, the deal he got is only about $10 million less than the 25% cap space max he could have gotten next year. Now, based off of the reactions I saw on Twitter from both Celtics fans and non-Celtics fans, most people seem to think that this deal is like an F or a D. So I actually feel like I have to defend why I'm not giving this a total failing grade. The first and obvious answer is I just think Jaylen Brown is better than most people think. Defense being probably the most overlooked part. I mean, people still underrate how important it is to have wing defenders at his size. I feel like guys like Jaylen Brown don't get credit for their defense because he's not flashy, he doesn't put up crazy steals or block numbers, and he doesn't pound his chest after every play like Patrick Beverley. He's just really good at his job. The second reason I'm a little bit higher on this deal is that there was a very real chance Jaylen Brown would have left. He was an unrestricted free agent, and in all likelihood, a team like Atlanta was going to give him the max. If he were a restricted free agent, I would have graded this deal an F. Because you just wait till the next summer then. And if Brown really gets the max, then you just match and pay an extra $2 million a year. No big deal. Signing Jaylen Brown this summer allows them more time to decide whether or not they actually want to trade him. With all that being said, I did grade this a C-. Because of what we've seen so far from Jaylen Brown, this is still a massive overpay. 4 years, 80 would have been the right amount for me. I'm really mostly concerned about their cap space moving forward, and especially next year, which is going to be a disaster. Assuming that Gordon Hayward picks up his $34 million player option, which I don't see how that's not going to happen, the Celtics have at least $125 million in committed salary. They're going to pay luxury tax. Now that's assuming that Enes Kanter declines his $5 million player option. So giving Brown this much money means the Celtics are stuck with their current roster for this year and next year, unless they manage to trade away Hayward. Beyond that, looking forward, let's assume that Jason Tatum gets the max in 2022 or 2021, which I think is a fair assumption. So then in those years, between Kemba and Brown and Tatum, you're at over $105 million. Now, Kemba, Brown, and Tatum is by no means a bad trio to build around, but is that a championship winning top 3 players? Maybe, maybe not. We'll just have to see. So overall, yeah, C- grade for the Jaylen Brown contract. Moving on to Buddy Hield. He got 4 years, $86 million with an extra $20 million in incentives. Incentives are complicated. I'm going to go off of the most accurate reporting that I could find, which says that about 10 million of the 20 million of incentives are things that he'll very likely reach. So we'll tentatively call this contract 4 years, $96 million. I grade this contract a B+. This is actually a fairly interesting question, so I'm going to ask you. For the next 4 years, would you rather have Buddy Hield or Jaylen Brown? Now, they're very different players with very different strengths and weaknesses, but I think in a vacuum, you'd have to decide on Buddy Hield. He's just proven way more as a player. But the difference is that Jaylen Brown is 22, whereas Buddy Hield is already 27. Now, because of Buddy Hield's age and let's say his average athleticism, I actually think Buddy Hield is basically close to a ceiling as a player, which, you know, some Kings fans came after me on Twitter for saying that, but I stand behind that statement. I mean, look, he's not going to get much better than he was last year. He might get a little bit better. He's not going to get that much better than he was last year. And last year, he was already pretty good. 20 points per game last year, doesn't get to the foul line at all, but he is one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. Average defense, okay, that's worth about 25 a year. So he got paid appropriately, which in my books is a B. Now, why the B+ instead of a B grade? So typically with a 4-year contract of, let's say, $100 million, you see the player get paid 21 in the first year, which escalates by, let's say, $3 million per year, until the last year is like $29 million or something, right? Which averages out to $25 million a year. Buddy Hield's contract is the opposite. His is declining, meaning he gets paid most his first year of the deal and then least his last year, which means that the last year of his contract is only $18 million when he's going to be 31 years old. I always think it's a plus when teams can afford to pay more now and leave more cap space for themselves in the future. On to the next contract extension, Domantas Sabonis, 4 years, $77 million. I'm going to grade this a C+. It hurts me a little to give this deal a low grade because I like Sabonis, but I have two main problems with this. One is that the Pacers giving him this contract clearly think that Turner and Sabonis can play together, and I'm just not on board yet. With the way the NBA is going, I don't see how that elevates you from being just a playoff team to a contender. Now it's true, like with the Jaylen Brown thing, signing Sabonis means they can still trade him in the future. My issue with that is, Sabonis was a really valuable trade target last season and this season in large part because he makes only $2 million a year. He's so easy to trade. When he's making $17 million a year, he's not nearly as valuable or enticing. And the way the NBA rules work, signing an extension now means that the Pacers can only trade him when that extension kicks in next season. So they can't trade him at all this year. So they don't leave themselves that option for this season. So, you're just gonna really have to pray that he and Turner works out. My second big issue with this contract is that it's just an overpay, given the market for centers. Let's look at comparable centers. Jusuf Nurkic last summer got 4 years, $48 million. This is before his injury. $12 million per year compared to $19 million per year for Sabonis. I think that when fully healthy, Nurkic probably edges out Sabonis as a player. I think that's fair to say. We look at this year's free agency market, comparable centers. Jonas Valanciunas got 3 years, $45 million. Sure, I'll give you that Sabonis is 4 years younger, and you could argue that he has yet to reach his ceiling and that he's going to be much better than he was last season. But given that the Pacers gave Turner the same amount of money and that he's supposed to play together, I don't think Indiana is even the place that helps Sabonis reach his ceiling. So unfortunately, I like Sabonis as a player. I don't like his situation in Indiana, so I'm gonna have to give this contract extension a C+. Okay, on to the last contract extension that I'm gonna talk about. Dejounte Murray, 4 years, $64 million. I'm grading this contract extension B+. Dejounte Murray as a player is really hard to judge because he missed the entirety of last season because of an ACL. Now, from what I saw the season before that in 2018, there's no way he's worth $60 million. But judging from this year's preseason and from what the Spurs coaches and players have been saying, Murray has gotten a lot better since 2018. Now let's talk about what we know about Murray. We know that Murray, when healthy, is one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, hands down, no question. 2018, he made second team all defense as a sophomore in the NBA, which is very impressive. 6'10" wingspan, elite lateral quickness. This is a perimeter defender built in a lab. Offensively, I generally like what I see. He's got good vision, good handles. He's aggressive driving to the rim where he uses quickness and athleticism to blow by people, but he also keeps his head up and hits open men and cutters. So he doesn't have that Westbrook John Wall syndrome where they just bury their head and charge towards the rim blindly. I think it has a lot to do with playing in the Spurs system, honestly. So really the only issue with Dejounte Murray is his shot and his three-point shots. His first 2 years in the league, his three-point shot was basically non-existent. And in fact, he took mostly layups and floaters in the lane. Now in preseason, that has changed. He's looked very comfortable in mid-range, but he doesn't yet look very comfortable from three. There are possessions where he's made three-pointers, looks like he shoots it with confidence, and then other times like this possession where he's wide open but opts to take a pull-up mid-range jumper. He needs to take these types of threes, if anything, just to keep the defense honest. The only other issue I have with Murray is that he's just not a good fit with DeRozan. But DeRozan is also getting close to 30. He's past his prime already. He's not a part of San Antonio's long-term future. And giving Murray this type of contract shows me that, San Antonio is moving forward. They're looking ahead. Overall, I like the rewards more than I like the risks. So the rewards being a player with true all-star potential, and the risk being, what if he gets injured again? What if his shot doesn't develop? So I like the rewards more than the risk. That's why I'm giving this contract extension a B+. So those are my grades for the 4 big contract extensions that happened right before the NBA season started. Feel free to agree or disagree. Again, a lot of this is just my opinion on these players and their situation. Now, before you go, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, NordVPN. What does a VPN do for a normal college kid like me? Well, 2 things. One, it helps protect my data and privacy, when I'm surfing on the internet, looking at certain websites like basketballreference.com. And a VPN also allows me to access content that would otherwise be blocked. So for example, Netflix shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender that is only available in other countries. And for me, when I'm back in China, I actually have to have a VPN on basically 24/7 in order to, get on social media and watch YouTube, upload YouTube videos. And trust me, as someone who's been using VPNs since I was in middle school and has dealt with so many just poor and slow and just malfunctioning VPNs over the last 10 years, let me tell you straight up that NordVPN is the best. It's quick, it's cheap, it's reliable, they got tons of locations all around the world. You can go to nordvpn.com/mdj to learn more about what they can do. The best offer they currently have is 70% off a 3-year plan plus an extra month free. So again, you can go to nordvpn.com/mdj to check out what they have to offer. Okay, that's it for today's video. Very happy that the NBA season is started. Let's hope for a injury-free NBA season. That's all I'm hoping for. I'll see you guys next time.